Okay, that's not what I was. Here we go. I was looking for this for my. Here we go.
We did the Tiana segment already.
You see what I can't understand?
Oh,
It's how
yeah.
somebody have a lifetime friend. That they
Friendship.
and they
Hold
just
up,
fall
man.
out
Let me
over
hit my
the simple
machine
shit.
guns. If you at work, turn this bitch
That
down.
same person to be in a relationship with a trifling ass motherfucker. And keep taking them back. Shit is crazy.
That sounds nuts.
We start with I love you. I think we got the power to grow.
All right, love. Love is where we are here. Love and friendship. Let me hit my air horn. Let me update the listeners because there are a lot of listeners. Let me update the listeners. Last week on this podcast, rest in peace to Triple X. Last week on this podcast, I started in a very somber state. I was very sad. I was beside myself. I was going through things. And I had just taken like the greatest nap at Park's house. So when niggas woke me up, and we just hopped right on the mic pause. And that was kind of how it went. Then I went on vacation. And I sat there and I patted myself on the back because I was able to piss niggas off on the last podcast and then go on vacation. I thought that was ill. Mm-hmm. I thought it was ill that by the time niggas was mad and ranting about some shit I said the other day, I was already under the sun, virgin pina coladas. That's crazy. And then...
You had the umbrella in there?
Yeah, it was umbrella and whipped cream.
Whipped cream on the virgin pina colada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make it look like the real deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've tried that before.
Spice it up.
Yeah, pineapple or something. You know, they cut
You
it
need
nice.
you need all the trimmings when it's
The fixins?
the
Cherries.
How do they make it in Ireland?
It's just rum.
Whiskey.
And then it's
Everything.
It's, and
Oh,
there's
how
just
they-
ice.
how
There's
they-
ice
ice and whiskey.
Guinness and whiskey.
Sometimes no ice.
How
With a potato in it.
So
All right, that was racist.
So then I thought...
I'm Irish
You took
too,
it
man.
way too far.
So then I thought to myself, and then I was even more proud because I said, damn, now I'm well rested and rejuvenated and re-energized, and I'm going to go back and address all of this stuff. Like, that's fucked up. Like, I felt bad. So let's get into it. Last week, right, I told a story about how I was in my car listening to ESPN radio, and I heard Pete Rosenberg alongside his co-hosts Don LaGreca and Michael Kay, two Trump supporters. I heard him interrupt his Yankee broadcast, because that's what they were talking about, to break the news that Triple X had died to his audience that was not a hip-hop audience. But he prefaced it by letting us know that he is a hip-hop journalist, so that's why he had to do it. And when these gentlemen were saddened by the news, they said, oh, man, that's horrible. Who was this young man? The first thing that Pete Rosenberg said was, well, he was no angel. And I was upset about that last week. So I called him out on it, on my podcast, right? I want to use this as a teachable moment for all. First of all, I want to say, I heard a lot of people saying, damn, Joe, it's fucked up, man. You should have called him. Let me clear something up for you people out there. No, I shouldn't have. That line is so overrated in the culture. Yo, you should have called him. I never want to talk to these people on the phone.
I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone.
Yeah, why would I don't even want to talk to my friends on the phone. And why should I have called Pete? Who the fuck is Pete Rosenberg for me to call him? Why? We're not friends. And I think that's the part that that's lesson number one. Friendship in this industry, right? It's weird. It takes a lot of people to really come to grips with what friendship in this industry really means. For me, what it means is what it means. I go by the context of the English language. I don't deal with seasonal relationships. My people are my people. I can count my friends probably on two hands. I say all that to say, no disrespect to mine and Pete Rosenberg's relationship, but we're not friends. I'm not calling him when I hear him say some stupid shit on the radio. It's very, very few people I will call when that happens. That's number one. Number two, let me give you some background here. Pete Rosenberg, and this is all my opinion, has harbored quite a few resentments toward Joe Budden for quite some time, right? That's important to note here, and it's important to note as you're maneuvering through the industry, as you deal with industry relationships. He's had an issue with mine and Charlemagne's relationship for a few years now. He feels like I was a little too close to Charlemagne or didn't really shit on Charlemagne like I should have when Charlemagne was running rampant with his domestic violence jokes about me. I never really felt a way about it because it weren't true. Right. I didn't feel like I needed to explain that to Pete Rosenberg, but he harbored some resentment there because he hates Charlemagne. It's important that you not let people put their emotions on you. We're going to use all of Pete's character defects to just be a really teachable moment. So let's continue. So he's got a resentment for that. He's got a resentment about how I handled the Marissa Mendez firing from this podcast. If you need more backstory, there's a really awkward interview on Hot 97 that I did about the whole matter with him and Ebro and all that. And that was the last radio interview I was ever going to do, right? So I say that to say Pete is a pretty sensitive guy who already feels a way toward Joe Budden about some things. Oh, he also feels like he should be credited for the success of this podcast somehow. He's even tweeted that. Before you finish laughing, right? It's important to note, because we're going to make some jokes here, but it's important to note, and this is all going to come full circle. I think that most of this stems from the fact that Peter Rosenberg is not a creative. He doesn't create from scratch. He reports on it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But Pete, you continue to compound mistake with mistake with mistake. You then went on Twitter and said that I needed to listen to 20 more minutes of you and your fucking liberal, conservative ass friends. Let me tell you something, Pete. I did. I listened. Y'all got off that topic very quickly and went back to the Yankees. That's why I was offended in the first place. And just in case I was mistaken, right? If maybe you did that in a moment of passion and confusion on your little fuckity fuck complex show where you write monologues that's super trash that nobody cares about, you went and echoed the same exact sentiment of he was no angel. That's a real bad habit we got in this culture today where people just refuse to admit a wrong. It would have just been real simple to say, my bad, I shouldn't have did that. Because Pete, my sentiment wasn't really about X. X is in a better place. Thank God for him. He don't have to hear none of this bullshit the niggas are saying down here. The people that I'm concerned about are the fans and the family members who didn't do a thing to anyone. They're here grieving. Who the fuck are you, Pete, to come and tell somebody that they're not an angel? Let me tell you my problem with that, Pete Rosenberg. The hypocrisy. The fucking Pause. Before we get to hypocrisy, let me explain something to you. When I talk about privilege, it's not a race thing for me. When I talk about privilege, I'm not the guy that's quick to pull the race card, Pete. When I talk about privilege, it is solely related to memory. Those who fail to remember are doomed to repeat. This is my belief and my belief only, Pete Rosenberg. I feel like you owe your entire career and place in hip-hop to gentlemen like Triple X. To gentlemen like myself. Gentlemen that you attempt to discredit because you feel inferior and insecure in your spot. It's off. So let's go back to hypocrisy. I've watched you repeatedly suck Mike Tyson's dick on air, off air. You love Mike Tyson. Hey, guess what? Me too. I don't hear you call him a convicted rapist to his face. We don't maneuver like that here. Because here, we identify and we remember. Who the fuck are you to attempt to be on some type of moral high ground like you the fucking ethics police? Newsflash, Pete. Don't nobody need you to come say what's right and what's wrong and what's agreeable. No shit, everything that young man was doing, the moral police don't agree. We know, Pete. Thank you for your very surface point. I think you missed all of ours. The gall of you. That even in death, and this is the part that really fucked me up. You bashed that young man for mistakes made. That young child, not even 21, can't fucking vote. You an adult and you alive. The second somebody call you on your shit, you run with your fucking tail cocked between your legs. Gotta be careful to not become the very thing we're against. Pete. You run right to your little socials and not only attempt to defame my character, you then insult the people that listen to this podcast. Cigarette and syringe emojis? Ooh, how did you feel inside? You're not telling me that because you are an emotional little man inside, you're using your platforms to just not be credible anymore. So now you're not believable because you've been called on a fucking mistake? Pete Rosenberg? Memory. Those that forget. Doomed to repeat. I think you've forgotten a few things here, Pete. So I just want this to be a reminder for you. Because it then took you a whole week to turn around and say, yo, I was wrong. Hey, guess what? Sometimes wrong is just wrong, Pete. You got the nerve to run the fucking Ebro so Ebro can massage your little vagina. And then, whoa, did he give that vagina a nice little massage? And you came back to Twitter feeling manly again. You were feeling macho. Am I lying?
No.
He came back and said, hey, Ebro said I don't have to prove my voice or my place to anybody.
We start with I love you. I think we got the power to grow.
That's a soundbite now.
Only in this instance, because this is coming from a place of love. It is. We don't have to be friends, but if you're going to be in this culture, goddammit, niggas is going to teach you how to behave while you're in it. You can't just run along. And what really pissed me off about it, and this is what really pissed me off about it, and all of this is an assumption. I think Peter Rosenberg knows his place in this culture. Peter Rosenberg's place in this culture is the whitewash urban guy. Peter Rosenberg, that is your place on all of your platforms. Look around, my nigga. On the morning show, Ebro, Lauren, you're the whitewashed urban guy. You're the white guy who shares all the same opinions as the fucking popular backpack, dirty white boy crowd. That's you. What the fuck is your calling card? Wrestling, same thing. ESPN, same. You can't attempt to discredit me, Pete Rosenberg, by saying I'm the worst rapper in Slaughterhouse. I don't give a fuck about rap. I'm talking morals and ethics. That was probably past 10 minutes, so I'm going to chill. I'm not that invested in Pete. Ack, I don't really address you because we don't serve the same demographic. You talk to children. I'm not talking to children. And typically, like you normally do, when you miss a point, you just grab on to some other point that nobody said and argue it. You're arguing something nobody said. No one is blaming you for death.
Nobody said that once.
Who said that? I didn't say that.
We didn't even allude to it.
But I do believe that you're responsible for your energy. And I've seen you. I don't think that you are built to deal with the energy that you are soliciting. That was the point. And contrary to popular belief, let me tell niggas something about the streets real quick, and then I'm going to stop preaching. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes, baby, the streets warn you. Sometimes they warn you. Sometimes they come and tell you they don't really want it to happen. And then they watch how you move. And then it's, right? So I tell you shit out of love, Act. It's nothing to be debated. It's nothing to argue. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care. But be careful. That is it. I just want everybody to be careful. Pete, I want you to have a little bit more couth and respect for the people that allow you to be here. Yes, allow you. I don't give a fuck what Ebro tells you when he's giving you a massage in the morning. To feel better. To pump your chest out. God damn it.
Well, I think
that was well said.
Yeah.
I would have said it.
Applause and gunshots should not really go together.
Applause and gunshots, my nigga.
Yeah, applause and gunshots.
yeah.
I mean, that's all I got, man.
I mean, I wasn't in the Pete thing to the act thing. That's why when we were joking before, I said I'm not going back and forth with academics over that. The kid clearly missed the point. I don't understand. Me personally, I'm not going back and forth with someone like that. That's just not my moral grounds or where I'm standing.
He's still a bozo, man.
No, he is a bozo. I'm stand by that. That's why I'm not going back and forth with a kid that isn't speaking to anybody that I talk to or lives any way that I live. Like, I'm not talking to somebody that's scariest thing in their life that ever happened was the Wi-Fi going out. That's just not where I lead. Like that, the albino shit, I laughed too. That was great. That was funny. That was funny.
I laughed.
Well, first of all, y'all don't know the plight of what it's like to wear sunscreen in December. So fuck out of here. That shit is tough.
I laughed when he called him albino, man.
Yeah.
You're the albino guy.
It's funny. Yeah, I'm with it, Ack. But yeah, Ack, you missed the whole point.
Well, wait, before you go any further, it is kind of scary when the Wi-Fi goes out. I mean,
that's the worst.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So when they put a gun to your head and it jammed, where does that scale on the Wi-Fi going out?
No, I've thought about that for a long time. The split second didn't leave much time to do much thinking or anything. You know you always played out in your head how it would happen if somebody tried to do something like that. It didn't go like that.
It never goes
at all.
Never does.
No, it never plays out.
Never does.
What you planned in your head.
Yeah, unless it's a Troy Ave story.
Those were great interludes, Joe. So
yeah. Troy Ave broke the whole band up with his shenanigans. Everybody related to that nigga's just off somewhere.
Niggas is crazy, man.
That's fucked up. All right, what was we saying?
I don't know, man.
She got real serious.
No, we was talking
Ack
about we was off for fucking Ack and Pete.
Ack and Pete.
Ack and fucking Pete. I can't believe the hypocrisy in some fucking people.
Ack and Pete. That sounds like a dope grocery store.
I'd shop there.